Hey there, guys. Welcome in to the channel. So now that I finally found out what my mom was mixed with after all these years, well, let's start with my father. So we already knew from my previous video that I posted on Facebook that my dad had Taino blood in him. So my dad has, to say the least, and to say it quickly, my father bloodline stretches between Taino Indian blood, West African blood, of course, from the slave trade, and he has some Spain and white English. Just a little bit of white English as well. My mother bloodline, we were trying to figure out why does she have curly hair. Compared to the Austins and Floyds, my mom hair is very loose curly. It's not like anybody in our family's hair. She looks different as well. Her mannerisms are even different, and how she thinks about life is completely different from those idiots. So I'm like, why is my mom traits are so different from the Austins and Floyds? I just had to know what was it. So I did the Ancestry DNA. I had been digging for years. I found my grandfather's family many years ago. I introduced Roosevelt to them. We did the Ancestry DNA. We linked to our aunties on that side of family, so we knew that Herman Page was the pappy on both sides of the family. And now from doing my blood ancestry DNA search, I found my mother's Cherokee lineage. We had an ancestor that was 100% Cherokee, and my mother blood range is from 100% Cherokee, white English American, well, not American, white English like British, and West African. So those are some of the things my mother are mixed with. And now we know why my mom has curly hair. And my entire life, I've always heard people say, oh, she's black, Spanish, or she's from some other, culture. They always called out other cultures that my mom could have been, but I'm like, she is not. She's black. And now I know she's not only is she's black, but she's mixed with Cherokee and white English, British. So that's why my mother's hair texture is the way it is. But it definitely gives Indian. You look at it, the texture of it, the curl of it, the curl pattern, even how she wears it, her high cheekbones, her nose, her features are all look Indian-esque. So even me, I feel like because of my nose, I have more of a West African look about me. But when I bone straighten my hair, I've always had people either say she's Spanish or people say she's Indian. And I had chief of tribes. It was some chiefs of Indian tribes. They were from further up north. They saw me and came, the guy spoke with me, and he was telling me, like, you look just like my family. You look just like my daughters. I've gotten that. I've met other Indians from South Florida, and they've told me, you look like my people when my hair is bone straight. I've gotten that from them. One time I even helped one lady that was Indian, and I ended up telling her about the Taino bloodline, and she was like, I just did some Indian ritual for help. And she said, maybe our ancestors sent you to me, and now I know that I'm Cherokee as well. So I'm like, maybe the ancestors did send me to her to help her the way I did in that time period, that happened last year sometime. So I wanted to look into the blood types. Why? Because I'm just nosy like that. So I know for a fact that I'm an O positive. My son is an O negative. My father, I think, is an O negative. He's Taino Indian, an indigenous native Indian of the Caribbean diaspora. There were Indians that lived all over the Caribbean diaspora before the white Americans came through with the slave trade. And basically, between the slave trade and the nasty diseases that the white man brought in, it killed out all of the Indians in that throughout that diaspora, unfortunately. But some of them did mix with hold on, don't come in here. So some of them did mix in with the did mix with white people, or white, people of the white diaspora, and some of them did mix with the African enslaved people or the African free people on those ships, whether it was slave ships, cargo ships, or pirates. Because pirates, do your history, pirates was a thing back in those days, and there were black pirates as well. So depending on where you're at in that, they were all wiped out and mixed in. So that's why my father has Taino blood in him from that slave trade, and because they were mixing with Africans and they were mixing with the white man that was coming in, whether they were Spanish or what, they were mixing. So I asked Google, what is the blood type? And basically they're saying that in this particular search, it's saying that O negative is O is a very prevalent. O is like the biggest range within the Native American or indigenous Indian culture, the indigenous people of America or the Caribbean. O, and not to mention the Taino was also in the most southern parts of Florida as well. So O is a thing, whether it's negative or positive. Some people say O negative is more prevalent. Some people say O positive is more prevalent. But what I know to be facts is that I'm O positive, my son is O negative, my father is O negative. They also say that A and B is quite prevalent. And now some of my research says that A is more prevalent than B. You know, so A is definitely a strong blood type that's there too. So O and A is very, very strong within the Indian diaspora, indigenous Indian diaspora of the Americas and Caribbean. So my mother is an A. So it all makes sense for us to find Indian blood and Indian ancestors in our trees and within our family history. So it all ties in together, from our DNA blood to our blood types, and now we're actually finding the actual people and names of people that was 100% Cherokee, 100% Native. So we definitely have a strong Native ancestry, and on my grandfather's side of the family, and not to mention on my father's side of the family. And my father is damn near 90. He's 87 this year. His birthday just passed on the 20th. So, well, I don't know what today is the month is. Well, his birthday is coming up very soon. And so my dad is from a different generation. He was born in the 30s. So his bloodline is very strong. I probably can go back maybe only 2 generations to have Indian blood in me. In America, slavery was abolished in 1865. In the Caribbean, it started way before that with the Haitian Revolution. So I'm pretty sure when the Haitians became free, a lot of those, the slave trade was different in the islands compared to America. So there were more free people over in the Caribbean than there were in America at times. As whole nations was being freed before America got their independence, before African Americans got their freedom in 1865. So, anywho, just based on our blood type, you know, you can look it up if you like. You know, when I was doing my ancestry, they were saying something about my bloodline going through Ohio and Delaware. They also stated that I had some Creole blood in me from my bloodline went through that area, the early Creole in Louisiana. So my bloodline also goes through heavily through South Carolina on both sides of the family. I haven't found any Indian connection on the Austin Floyd side. I was looking on both Austin and Floyd side and haven't been able to find any indigenous Indian blood as of yet, but I am searching still. I haven't given up. But right now, only thing I see is maybe somebody was fucking the slave master or got raped by the slave master. See a little white blood there, but can't find any indigenous Indian as of yet. So it's good to learn more about yourself. My son's father, like I stated earlier, he told me that he had a little Indian in his blood down the line somewhere. Initially, when he would tell me things about himself, a lot of things I wouldn't believe. But everything that he ever told me about himself came out to be true. He was not lying to me about a lot of things when it came down to him telling about himself. About his children, he always was honest about that. There was a lot of things about himself that he was honest about, and I was privy to a lot, y'all. So the fact that my son is an O negative, and O is very prevalent in the Indian diaspora, indigenous Indian diaspora, it makes sense. And maybe perhaps he wasn't lying about that either. Maybe he has Taino, because he told me he has some type of Jamaican bloodline somewhere in there, and maybe he has there's Tainos that was in Jamaica and Haiti, and so perhaps he has some type of Taino bloodline through that, that's translating down to my son as well, with my Cherokee and Taino bloodline. So look at God. My son is very Indian. Not to mention even my nephew Kai, his grandfather on his biological, because his mother was adopted, but his biological grandfather on his mother's side of the family is the chief of their tribe up in Delaware. So he has Indian in him, not only from our grandfather's side, the Cherokee, but he also has Indian as far as his natural grandfather on his mother's side, being the chief of his tribe in Delaware area. I'm not sure if it's Delaware, but it's in North America area, like more northern states he's in. So he's very Indian as well. So that's why our hair texture is the way it is. That's why we don't act like these motherfucking regular ass Austins and Floyds, because it's just not in us. We don't have that complete nigga gene like they do. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. Maybe I said a little bit too much, but I gotta go. I got other things to do with myself and my time this evening. Peace out.